what to say. But we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out of the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like giving joy to the helpless. With the team bringing life to the dream. That's all we hear. Ruthie, that's Sammy, and she's so, yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. Ooh, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. OJ, keep speaking for us.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. It's a beautiful Saturday at HD Pro Global. Super excited to come to you guys again today. It's day 6. Yes, day 6. Amazing journey that we've taken so far. Exciting week we've had. So many wonderful conversations, and I really appreciate the love that I received on this 21 days of life giving and growth challenge. And we're here for day 6. Excuse my bare face, no makeup look. Some days you just gotta show up in the world. Like I said yesterday, half the battle is when you show up. For a number, half of it is one how you show up. But today I'm coming to you guys, well, not made up, but have a made up mind to share some value with you because it's important for us to understand the the stories that we're telling ourselves. And the reason I'm sharing that today is because mine is, I have such a very, I just found out, I just found out, that I am actually left brain person. So I have a left brain that functions, that causes me to think very deeply, high creative, and all the other things that left brain people are. And y'all right brain people, so much love for y'all, but I'm left brain, and that really puts me in a very interesting position with the way my mind works. And I think that in everyday life, I think and I overthink and I extra think and I deeply think. And when you can get where I'm going with it, I keep thinking of issues and I run it over in my mind. I'm a sharpshooter. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sharpshooter. If I see something that I need to do, if I'm trying to make a decision on a project or something, and I always know I know what I want and I go for it. I see an opportunity, I run with it. Sometimes to my own detriment, sometimes it works out. But who cares? I'm a risk taker. And I keep taking those risks, and I'm going to keep taking those risks. Now, with age and wisdom and more knowledge and understanding of the way things work and the world works, and it's more emotional intelligence. Yes, with more emotional intelligence, even though I want to keep taking those risks, I have to consider so many more factors before jumping on it. And that has really been helping me. It has not only helped me with future taxes, but it's also helping me to get some hindsight decisions that I made. Hindsight 2020 decisions. Sometimes my storytelling to keeping the right narrative is so important to the storytelling. For those of us who are public speakers, we do public speakers, we engage the ability to communicate. It's important for us to master the art of storytelling. But storytelling is not only important when you are a public speaker and you are holding a mic or doing it. Storytelling is important in actually shaping the way your mind works. It actually helps in developing your identity. Who are you? Who are you belonging to? What are you telling yourself about who you are, who you can be, or what stories are you telling? What narrative have you chosen to embrace as your story? It's something for somebody or people to say certain things about you. So I've heard this said, and my people will always say, it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. It's not what the people call you. I don't know, whatever name. Thank you so much for that like and Facebook. I appreciate it. It's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. So understanding the importance of keeping the right narrative at all times is very critical to shaping and forming and developing the person you are becoming. You know, we talk about this, I am becoming. I don't know if anybody, I say to myself, I am becoming. I'm on my way. Hey, Dr. Sarah, good afternoon, sir. I'm on my way. I am becoming something. Who are you becoming? The stories you're telling yourself actually shapes that identity. And until you start telling yourself the right stories, not only telling it to yourself, believing it, kind of internalizing it, and putting it out there with the words you say, with how you communicate. For example, let me tell you guys a quick story. A couple of weeks ago, actually, 2 days after Christmas or 3 days after Christmas, I got into a wreck. It was so bad. And it's like, oh my God, of all the things that could happen to me at the end of the year, everybody's praying to enter the new year in one piece. And Oiko is getting rear-ended and I'm hit and it was really bad. My car was bashed. And I was like, okay. And it happened on a day when I was actually out there trying to do some good. I was really out there just delivering gifts to my team members. And that was the day somebody decided to come and hit me. You go figure. But one of my team members was like, Doctor, oh, you need to go home. You need to go to the hospital. I said, no, I left the house this morning to do all of these errands. All these people have worked so hard with me this whole year on my foundation, on different projects. I need to show my appreciation before the year rolls out. And I'm going to get it done, whether the devil likes it or not. And I kind of just put all the wreck, got the insurance, police report, everything. After everything was done, they're like, should we take you to the hospital? I was like, no, let me just drive and go. And I just had to tell myself the narrative that this is the mission today. I had to take myself out of the space of I was in shock. Yes, maybe I was in a little bit of shock or a lot because my adrenaline was working so much because until I got home that night and I sat down on my bed and I was like, oh crap, I was actually in a wreck today. And I called my son and I was like, okay, please get me this. And I was like, Mom, what happened? I said, I was in a wreck. So why didn't you say anything? I said, it literally just came back to me because I refuse to play that movie over and over in my mind. I refuse to acknowledge the presence of that negativity in my universe. And then, of course, even when I did share on social media, it was just a matter of look at what God has done. Look at how he saved me. Look at how he preserved me. Look at how he kept me. I didn't come here and say, oh my God, oh, my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, everybody in the whole social media world, oh, please pray for me. Oh, the enemies have come again. Oh, they have struck. Oh, Jesus. Oh, please pray for me for deliverance. Oh, see somebody, I didn't come on. I didn't even make that an issue even with my family, my kids that I live with. I just, I got in a wreck. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. I'm good. The next day I went to the ER because I had to. I started feeling really bad. My neck, everything was in pain. But I realized, okay, whiplash, all those things. Yeah, I'm aware of those symptoms. And they said I suffered a mild concussion. Their enemy suffered mild concussion, whatever. They treated me and I was fine. But when I narrated the story and when I keep telling myself the story I'm telling myself is, Oiko, I'm in perfect health. I will live, I will not die. I will not bury and I will not be buried. That is not my testimony. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. I will see the end of this year and I will start the new year and I will do great and mighty things. I will live to declare the goodness of God in the land of the living. And those were the things that was running through my mind. So all of the negative things that could have been going on, oh my God, I could have died. Oh, this, I didn't allow that to take root. Now, am I saying that there are other things that are negative that I don't personally, run that movie over and over and over in my mind, tell that story over and then create a different narrative and say, oh, what if I had said that? Oh, look at what she said. Look at what he did. Look at what she did. Look, and I'm very guilty of those things too. And that is why it was important for me to share this today. You have to control the narrative. I have to control my narrative. And it's not just the narrative of what I tell people or what I say out here on the social streets. It's the narrative of what I tell myself. It's the stories, hey, Billion, hi, sweetheart. It's the stories that I'm telling myself every single day. It's the things that I allow to run through my mind. You know, our minds are full of like nerves and neurons and things like that. And the more you repeat a story, the more you repeat a scene, the more you repeat a memory, the more you allow your mind to keep playing, the stronger the neurons get, and the more it actually materializes into your reality. Happy Sunday, sweetheart. What you cooking today, Billion? The more you allow that story to stand, the more that story gets stronger and stronger, and it becomes your reality. And I am working through my own process, but I'm coming here to say, let's walk through it together. Let's grow together. Let's give ourselves some positive light and life so we can all grow together. So keeping the right narrative is important. So while you might have had an argument with your spouse, your friend, your significant other, and it might have gone really badly, do you want to keep running that scene over in your mind so that way the offense grows stronger and stronger? Or do you just want to say, "Whew, that was really heated, and just try to get over it"? I know, easier said than done, Dr. O. It's easy for you to come here and talk about this. WhatsApp, peace, meditate. Trust me, I know. I am also not a victim, but I'm also a participant in this thing that we all do as humans. We tend to play over and over the bad things that happen to us more often than the good things that happen to us. And if we look at life and look at 24 hours in a day, I'm so glad that I don't have makeup and I can actually touch my face freely. I like that feeling because my hands are cold. So I'm actually using my cold hands to relax the blood vessels around my eyes. You can see, yeah, like cucumber patch. My hands are acting as a cucumber patch right now. Sorry, I digress. If we actually take some time to focus on 24 hours of our day, we will realize that, hey, BC Meat Pie, how are you? Hey, Sister BC, how are you? All right, we'll realize that more good happens to us than bad. And if we focus more on the bad things and we keep replaying the bad things, our reality, our existence, our universe, our ecosystem would only give that back to us. But that is why it's important for us to take control. Like, it is the hardest thing, y'all. Like, I promise you, it is so hard to do. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. I love that, Billion. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes, girl, we're getting it in 2023. All of that wonderful wealth that God has for us. So listen, controlling the narrative, managing your storytelling ability. You don't have to be a public speaker to manage your storytelling ability. We do it in an extrinsic way because we have to tell good stories to engage our audience. But you also have to do it in an intrinsic way whereby you're managing the people, your village people, all of you, yourself and yourself, all of your, all of yourself, your first person, second person, third person, personality inside of you. You have to manage everybody. You have to tell them the right story. Sometimes you have to even vocalize it. Like I was driving in my car this morning and some random thoughts, in fact, they were not random, let me not lie, just tell the truth. Some thoughts kept coming, regenerating, reoccurring. And I'm like, you know what? Shut up. I yelled at myself. I was like, Dr. O, shut up. I mean, I wasn't yelling at myself. I think I was yelling at the devil because I thought it was the devil that was bringing those. Like the devil comes on your shoulder and it says, reminds you of all your failures, reminds you of all your weaknesses, reminds you of all your inadequacies, reminds you of the mistake that you made. Look at you, Dr. O, of all people. You call yourself this and that. Come here and talk to people. Look at what you did. Do you see how you... And I'm like, okay, shut up. Just stop. And sorry, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at my thoughts. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that so that thought process, stop it in its tracks. Because if you're trying to mentally meditate and it's not working, and every day I try to tell you these things, I try to give you actionable steps, things that I am doing myself. If you're trying so hard and you're like, oh my God, I can't get out of my mind. I can't get out of my mind. My mind is going. Sometimes you just have to open up your mouth, use your mouth and let the Lord fill it. Let the Holy Spirit fill your mouth with the right words to say. And sometimes those words need to sound like, shut up. It sounds like that. And then you kind of stop those thoughts because, when you vocalize and the noise and the sound comes, it's a sound. It sort of stops your mind for a second and you can quickly redirect your thought process to the right street, to the right avenue. You can quickly redirect the energy to say, stop. And all of a sudden you're like, I am the head and not the tail. I am loved by God. I am wonderfully and fearfully made. Wealth and riches are in my household. Whatever affirmations you can think of that you have mastered over the time, or whatever words that you want to speak life, you need to start speaking that life. And then once you start speaking it, vocalizing it, you will realize that your insights start to align. It will be stopping. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to think positive. Leave me alone. Stop trying to get me off my track. But eventually, with repetition, everything starts to align. Everything starts to align. And then the narrative starts to change. And then you start to feel better. And then you start to have a different perspective. You know, they say perspective is reality for most of us. Yes, it is. Whatever we perceive to be the truth is what the truth is. It might not be the truth, but whatever we perceive it to be is what we make of it. So you need to start telling yourself the right kind of stories. You need to start speaking life over yourself. You need to start, and then eventually, over time, I am above and not below. I am loved by God. I am chosen by God. I am protected by God. I am of abundance. I am love. I give love. I am. I will. I must. I love it, Billion. I love it. That is amazing. I just read out my friend's affirmation, and actually, as I'm reading it, I am internalizing it to myself because those words are so amazing. So those are the things that we need to do. Changing. Yes, I receive love. I give love. I am full of love. I am surrounded by amazing superhumans who just want to bless me and who I have the capacity to be a blessing to. I always get my job done. I always complete my task. I am a finisher. I have the finisher's anointing. The grace of God is multiplied in abundance over my life. Everything that I touch turns to gold. Come on, guys. You want to tell me that if you say those things, different things, and the more you say, the more your spirit receives it, the more your spirit aligns with those truths. So if you find yourself in your mind space and things are crowded and it's so cluttered and it's so noisy in there, you need to bring the noise, release the noise, and then once you release it, the pressure, honestly, this is actually scientific and medical, the pressure actually comes down. You feel some of the pressure just ease off of you. And then you can breathe a little and you can relax. And then you start having better perspective. So guys, controlling and keeping the right narrative is going to be very critical to our growth in 2023 and beyond. I know I am preaching to the choir. Thank you for letting me know. I just said that though. Nobody said that. But it's important for us to remind ourselves because the Bible says the entrance of his words gives light and life. I say light and life because light and life kind of merge together. But you know, he says faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. So the more you hear, it increases your faith, it increases your belief system. And the belief system you need to have to become the person you want to be has to match up to that place you're going. If your belief system is here and you're trying to get here, you're not going to go there. You're not even going to go past this. You have to raise up your belief system to match up to this level. And then you can elevate physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever Shilly, whatever Illy, you know, all the Illys in our lives, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all the lilies, whatever lily yours is. Sorry, I make up words all the time. I don't care because I just find it engaging to communicate with you guys. Whatever your illy is, you have to match that energy first. Energy gives energy. If your energy is down here and you're trying to get up here, you got to match that energy, baby. You got to match it. You got to raise your vibrations. You got to raise your mindset. Your identity will mirror what you're seeing. So if your life is bringing forth something and you're like, what is all this? What am I seeing in my life? And I say to myself, and one of my mentors, my sister, my coach, she told me, she said, Dr. O, you are such an amazing person, but I need you to change some prayers that you're making because I was telling her, she was like, that's the wrong kind of prayer. Stop praying that prayer. Why? You've gone beyond that spiritually for you to be praying at that level. I said, oh, really? Tell me. And she tweaked the positioning of my words, my verbs, my action words, my adjectives. She tweaked it and she was like, how about you pray it like this? It's still the same prayer, but you're just switching your words around. You're telling the story from, you were telling it from here. How about you switch it here and tell the story from here? And then watch God respond to you better. And I'm like, I like that. I'm going to teach my people that. So if you be praying, say, God, why me? Oh, why me? Why is all these things always happening to me? God, don't you see me? Don't you see how I'm working hard? Don't you see how this is? Don't you see? Don't you see? Okay, good. That's good. It's good. It's from emotion. We love those emotions. But let's switch that emotion around and just say, how about this? Lord, I work really hard and I appreciate you for giving me the grace to do all this hard work. I appreciate you for letting me set up this business. I appreciate you for this relationship that you've given to me. And I ask that you would just bless it. I ask that you would just increase it. I ask that your mercy will just look upon me and give me more than I actually deserve, because that is what your grace offers. More than I deserve. You said you can do exceedingly abundantly above anything I could ask or imagine. And honestly, Daddy, I'm asking you to do just that for me. Because honestly, if I tried my hardest and I worked 365 days, 24/7 a day, I could not make that up. But I know that your grace, your mercy, and your goodness can give it to me the only way that you can. And when you switch that perspective and you tell God from that position of, I know you got this. I don't, even though it seems like I'm trying to do everything to get it, but I don't. So I want you to help me. I surrender it to you. I humble myself before you to say, you do that which only you can do. And while you're doing that which you can do, I'm going to be diligent enough to keep doing the work. I'm going to be diligent enough to keep showing up. I'm going to be diligent enough to keep praying and trusting you. And watch that and as you begin to switch your narrative, how you tell your story, how you talk to yourself, how you make your prayers, how you do all of these things, I'm telling you, it's going to make a dramatic change in the outcomes that you begin to experience going forward. That's all I got for you guys. It's day 6 and it's an exciting day. It's Saturday. Yay for us. Have a wonderful weekend, Billion. Amazing sister. I love you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for everyone that joined on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Thank you so much. Please share this video because I know that there is somebody out there who needs to hear this. I know there's somebody out there who needs to grow through this. I know there's somebody out there who needs this life-giving words that I have shared today to the glory of God. All right, y'all, that's it for me today. My name is Dr. OJ, the Med Spa professor. You know, I love you. Mwah! Bye, guys.